I keep getting a lot of requests from you guys on how to influence and manipulate a seller to sell subject to, and honest to God, I can't do that. There's no tricks, so I'm just going to show you how to lay it on the line, give people the cold hard facts, and help them make an educated decision. Stay tuned and smash that subscribe button. Talk to you soon.
I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler,
So, you must be Mr. Gentles.
Yes, I am. And you
Mr.
are?
Kohout, but you can call me Chuck.
Hi, Chuck.
Nice to meet you. So, you gave me a little tour of the house. We spoke earlier. We know a little bit about it. Just to refresh my memory, tell me more about the house and the situation.
Well, I bought this house well over 8 years ago.
Okay.
I love it. My kids love it. My wife loves it. And we're trying to, figure out what we're going to do with it.
Okay, and why are you selling?
I can't afford the payments anymore.
Can't afford the payments anymore. How much are the payments?
The payments right now are $2,200 a month.
$2,200 a month? Okay. And what happened? Why can't you afford them?
Well, COVID-19 hit.
Yeah, it happened to a lot of people.
Lost a lot of income.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So how many months behind are you?
Right now, April, May, June. So 3 months.
We're coming up on July.
Coming up on July.
So have you been served yet?
No, I haven't been served yet.
Okay, well we got some time. I mean, there's a federal moratorium on foreclosures, but I mean, without any penalties or anything, just my math is telling me that you're about $8,800 behind.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you think this place is worth?
About $250,000.
$250,000.
Yeah.
What are you basing that on?
Just recent comps and recent sales.
And those are sold comps?
Yes.
Wow, you're a pretty educated dude.
Yeah, I'm also a realtor.
Well, that's a pleasure. Okay, so $250,000, and you want to sell the house, I'm assuming. You want to leave, or what's the plan?
I would love to leave, but I have nowhere to go.
You got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
What are you asking for the house?
Well, I owe $385,000 on it.
I'm sorry, what?
I owe $385,000 on it.
God damn. All right. So how did that happen? What year did you buy this?
I brought it in 2009.
2009. Okay, so clearly we've taken a little bit of a dip since then, and I think the best we're gonna have to do here is I can't even sell it for $385. I'm gonna have to negotiate a short sale on this.
Okay.
I mean, in order to do that, I've got a seller's checklist of documents I'm going to need from you. It's W-2s, pay stubs, bank statements. I'm going to ask you right now, you told me that you're broke, you can't make the payments.
Correct.
Before I even start this process, okay, I want to make sure you really truly are broke on paper, correct?
I can show you my bank account right now.
I believe you. I believe you, but we're going to have to document this, and we're going to have to prove it to the bank, and if you've got 50, 100 grand squirreled away somewhere, I don't want to be the one that blows the whistle and ruins this deal, and now the bank's putting a levy on your account or something. So, you're broke.
I'm broke.
Okay, it's actually a good thing for the first time.
Not really.
Not really, but it can help you get out from underneath this, and I mean, you clearly, you are over leveraged. Now, I mean, what I can do is I can buy the house for the outstanding debt, and I can actually, well, don't look at me like I'm crazy yet.
Okay.
It's going to take some explaining, but I can purchase it from you and your wife and step into your shoes, and it'll actually put me in a stronger negotiating position with the bank, because once I have the deed on that property, not only are you in foreclosure, but you no longer own it, and it's like you've thrown your hands up and walked away. Okay, and you're not going to speak to the bank either. You're just going to provide me with documents. I'm going to have an authorization to release to speak on your behalf, and I'm going to tell them a story. I'm going to paint a very bleak picture about what happened to you, and your entire situation. I'm going to back it up with a financial hardship. And then eventually, hopefully, I'm going to get them to come out here and do what's called a BPO.
What is that?
It's a broke person's opinion. No, I'm just
Really?
kidding. It's a broker's price opinion.
Okay.
But a lot of them are broke too. And they're going to come out here and they're going to look at everything and they're going to realize that, okay, we owe $385. It's really only worth $250. We'd be lucky if we get that. And if they come back with an appraisal or a broker's price opinion at $250, they may let me sell it at that. They may let me sell it at 80% of that. Who's the bank, by the way?
Oh, Wachovia.
Wachovia?
Yeah.
I got this Jamaican dude in the office. He's great with short sales. His name is Linton, too. And once he sees all the paperwork, he'll be able to give me a pretty good idea of what he'll be able to do and what the time frame is. But
Okay.
for now, we're just going to go on a little bit of a fact-finding mission and collect the documents. So, I mean, in a perfect world, I'm going to give you our seller's checklist. You're going to round up all this stuff for me. It's going to be your homework. And then the next time we meet, we're going to meet in my office and go through all that. And we're going to come up with all the reasons and write a hardship letter while you were broke. And we're going to keep it pretty short, one page, but we're really going to Stephen King it up without lying. So if there was any medical records or anything else we can use to prove this hardship, I'm going to bring that to light as well. So, I mean, again, I'm going to purchase it for the outstanding debt.
You're going to buy my house for $385,000.
I'm not going to write the check,
Okay.
okay? However, $385,000 is going to be the consideration,
Okay.
and we are going to have a closing, and I am going to have to pay transfer tax on that amount of money just to get the deed recorded in the courthouse. I am going to have to pay for title. I'm going to have to pay for insurance. I might have to lay out $10,000, $15,000 just to get into your shoes.
Okay.
Now the loan is still going to be in your name. You're 4 months down on your credit, on your payments. Your credit is not going to get any worse. There is nothing I can do to make this situation any worse.
Are you going to make the payments once you close?
I am not going to make the payments because I am making the payments on something that's worth less than zero. I mean, $385. Let's do the math. Math is not my strong point. Bear with me. $385 minus $250,000 is $135,000. Okay, so this property is worth less than zero.
Okay.
It's worth negative $135,000 at best. And in order for me to negotiate a short sale with the bank, if I were to make those payments up, this would then become a performing asset. However, the bank won't negotiate on performing assets. So you're actually really smart by doing this. By falling 3 months behind, on the 4th month, the bank will file a lis pendens, and it's a document that lets you know this is the start of the foreclosure process. And what you did unknowingly, which was very smart, is you hit the bank in the head with a sledgehammer and said, oh my God, this guy's not making the payments. Now we're going to have to confront the reality that this property may not be worth what you owe on it. And while we're doing that, smash the like and subscribe button as well. So, no, I'm not going to make the payments, and if I do, I can't negotiate.
So can I continue to live here?
You can continue to live here for a little while.
Okay.
However, you are going to have to find a place to go, and the reason for that is once I get this down to that 250 mark or possibly lower, and I don't want to hide the fact that I do this to make money. I do.
Okay.
So I could make 5, 10, 20 grand, I don't know, till we get there. And negotiating this debt down is going to depend more on our cooperation as a team than anything else. Okay? You can continue to live there, but I need you to start looking for a place. I need you to talk this over with your family, and I need you to start finding where you want to go, because I'm going to put a tremendous amount of time and effort into this, and so are the people in my office, and we're going to get a discounted number, and I can't sell that property to somebody else when you still live there. And I want you to think about this. When you bought this house 8 years ago, you woke up the first morning you lived there, and the old seller was like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm just going to take a shower. I'll leave you some hot water." It doesn't happen. So
Okay.
you're going to have to talk to your wife and talk to your kids and figure out where you want to go. Give me a timeline. You're not that far behind, you know.
How much time would you say I have?
I don't know. You're on the tracks. The train is coming. Eventually you're going to get hit by the train. I'm going to push you off the tracks before you get hit. However, I got 30, 40 of these going on at any given time. I can't afford to get hit by the train myself. If that happens, there's a lot of other people that I got to help out too, and honestly, I'd fail a lot of people. So when you get everything together with the seller's checklist that I gave you, and I got a mortgage statement and an authorization, I can contact the bank. We can see if there's a sale they've filed, and we can forecast into the future. My best guess right now, I could definitely say you're probably going to have at least 6 months to a year, maybe a little bit longer, but it starts to get really hard as it gets closer. Nobody wants to do this kind of stuff under duress, and the closer you get to that sheriff's sale date, the more complicated and the less time we all have. I'd rather you leave as a family unit, leave with dignity. We could plan this out, and it is a short sale. In a bank's eyes, they have lost money.
Okay.
Based on you, it's kind of your fault. So it's not like I can pay you, and many times it will say in that short sale payoff letter that I can't give you any money. Okay? Not directly. I could possibly pay for some movers. There may be a few other ways that I could help you out. In the event that you think you never should have gotten this loan to begin with, and that there's some kind of bank fraud, and I'm going to ask you for your closing packet, and I can prove that you never should have got it because what'd you say you did for a living? You're a realtor?
Yeah.
Well, if I'm going through the loan packet where you got it and it says you own 3 pizza places, that's a slam dunk. Okay. Then Wachovia might write you what we call a shut-up check.
Okay.
And it's like, here's $2,000, $5,000. The most I've ever seen was 20. I don't want you to count on it. If it happens, great. The bad news is you got to pay taxes on it. But if we can prove it and get you the money, that's extra money. And that's not going to happen until I get everything negotiated and paid off. So it's going to be hopefully shortly after you move out.
How long does this process take?
So the guy I got in the office that works at him is incredibly talented. 3 to 6 months is lightning fast if we all cooperate and we're all on the same page. However, since you don't have a move-out date set yet, it may take a little longer. Right now, we're just going to focus on step 1, which is going to be getting everything together in the seller's checklist. As long as we do that, we get the payoff, we start the negotiation process, then I can start giving you more accurate predictions. And when you get that package together and we start signing purchase and sales agreements and actually doing a closing, I'd like you to come to my office so you can meet the team and the family. And I mean, nobody sleeps with somebody on the first date. It doesn't happen that frequently. This will be our second date. We're getting to know you, and I want you to meet the team.
Okay.
All right?
Purchase and sales agreement. Don't you sign that when you go into contract with somebody to sell your house?
Yeah, and we're going to have to sign one of those because it is my full intent to buy your house. That's why I'm here. I drove all this way not to have a great conversation, though you do seem like a pretty great guy.
So, my understanding, you're going to buy my house for the outstanding debt.
You are correct, sir.
Okay. So then I'm not responsible for it.
No, you're responsible for the debt now. You will be responsible for the debt after the fact. Okay?
So you're not buying my house?
I'm buying your house for the debt. Now here's the concept.
Okay.
Okay? You're a realtor.
Yeah.
You're an educated dude.
Yeah.
You ever see somebody buy a property and then put it into an LLC?
No, I see them buy a property and then get a loan.
Yeah. I can't get a loan from anybody to pay off what you owe.
Okay.
Because what you owe, as we saw before on the calculator, is $135,000 more than the property is worth.
Okay.
So if I wrote the check for that much, or if I were able to get the loan for that much, I would be out of business. So I have to discount the loan,
Oh, okay.
We're going to do what's called a short sale.
Okay.
However, prior to that, I am going to buy the property subject to its existing debt.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, it's not a problem. You owe 385,
Yes.
right? So there's going to be everything from a HUD statement, a deed, all the other closing documents.
Deed?
Yeah, I'm buying it.
I have to sign a deed?
Well, there's no other way I could buy the property. That's how it transfers. You're a realtor. I'm sure you sat through a lot of closings.
Yes, but usually finance is involved when someone signs a deed. Title is transferred
Yeah,
when someone signs a deed.
and that's exactly what's going to happen here. Now, again, I can't make the situation any worse, and we don't even have to do this part of it till you're ready to move out.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Okay, but when you move out,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times if you leave the place vacant, the bank might break in, kids might break in and throw a party. If somebody falls down, gets hurt, some terrible stuff, they're going to come after you and they're going to sue you because you're still the owner of record.
Okay.
Okay, though I can't take on the mortgage, I could take on all that other liability, and if something goes wrong, if it burns down, guess whose responsibility it is?
You?
Me. It snows, somebody's got to get it shoveled. That's my job, not yours.
Okay.
Again, the debt is going to remain outstanding. It's still going to be in your name. I am now going to be in foreclosure too.
So we're gonna both be in foreclosure.
Yeah. And I don't want to be there either. But guess what? I fight a lot harder when my back is against the wall. I got 30, 40 of these things going on at any given time. And honestly, I don't want to lose any of them. But if we ever lose this working relationship, if something should happen to you, God forbid you pass away, you leave the country, I can't get in contact with you, guess who's getting foreclosed on?
You are.
This guy. And that's my risk, and I'm willing to take it, and that's why I want you to come back to my office and actually meet the team too, because I'm getting a good vibe from you. If I was getting a bad vibe from you, I wouldn't do this and take that kind of risk.
Okay.
So, again, I'm buying the property for the outstanding debt. I can't alleviate you of that burden yet, but as long as you provide me with all the documents I've asked you for, I can contact the bank. I'm going to push them to do one of these BPOs or appraisals. I'm going to make them aware of what it's really worth. I'm going to show them that the house is vacant. I'm going to show them that I can pay it off now because I'm buying it for what it's worth or less.
Okay.
And then I'm either going to fix it up or rent it, or I'm going to sell it to somebody else because I believe in transparency, and honestly, I do this to make money. But a long time ago, somebody told me that if you put a lot of good out into the world, a lot comes back, and God helps those that help other people, kind of thing. So I'm doing my best. I'm doing my part. No risk, no reward. And believe it or not, I've met some of my best friends in situations just like this. So what other questions do you have for me? Because you got me here right now, and by the way, if you can ask me one I can't answer, I will thank you.
Well, you mentioned, what do you call it, documents. Can I get those documents that I can review them with my attorney before?
Yeah, absolutely. I can email them all over to you right now. Now, I'm going to caution you on the front end. Most cases, your attorney is going to say no, and your attorney is going to hate me.
Okay.
And the only response I want you to give your attorney is, okay, then you buy my house, or you give me a better solution.
Okay.
By the way, you can tell your attorney that I'm more than willing to get on the phone with him, or even come down and meet with him in person. And the reason why I would do that is because attorneys aren't schooled and versed on how to do subject to deals or how to do short sale closings, and I am. This is all I do. There's nothing else, no day job. And once I educate them, and yes, I have been paid a lot of money to teach a lot of attorneys how to do this. I even spoke at Seton Hall Law one time at the practical application of this stuff. A lot of times what happens is they start giving me other clients that they don't know what to do with as well, because they see that I've done the right thing with you.
Okay.
Okay?
Will I have to file bankruptcy?
You don't have to. I don't know your full financial picture. You're going to do a financial worksheet as part of all the documents I've asked you to get together. We can look at everything else you've got in terms of credit card debt, other things, and if it looks like it makes sense, bankruptcy is not what it used to be. And I want you to think of it like this: it's a business decision. Other than the house, how much outstanding debt do you have?
Well, I drive a Bentley.
Goddamn.
I have about $22,000 in IRS debt
Okay.
and about $15,000 in credit card debt.
When you do the financial worksheet and you come to my office, we're going to throw this all on the whiteboard. And if bankruptcy looks like it's the right option, and it might be, okay, it will actually make the short sale easier, and it will discharge that debt from reporting to your Social Security number. And by the way, I didn't mention this yet, but as part of this transaction, once the debt is no longer associated with you or paid off, I will pay for and have your credit restored. So you'll be able to...
Thank you.
Well, you got to promise me you're not going to wind up in the same hole again, though.
Oh.
Okay? It's part of the deal. And I think you can do it. If I don't leave you in a better place than when I found you, I didn't do my job. Now, part of it is not just doing this to make money. You try to make people stronger and better, and you may not believe me, but you will understand how people come back, and a lot of times they're thankful for years later, and I've made more friends doing this than I can count.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
I mean, if you have to file bankruptcy, it's $2,500. I know a bunch of bankruptcy attorneys. I can introduce you to a few. You make a choice and view bankruptcy like a business decision. If you could take all of your debt and purchase it for $2,500 and make it just go and never come back, and then have credit cards 30 to 90 days later and be able to buy a house in the next year, would you do it?
Yes, I would.
Okay then, maybe it's an option. When you come back to my office, we can take a look at it.
All right.
And by the way, I emailed you all the documents, and I do look forward to meeting with your attorney, because more often than not, they become great sources of business and sometimes some of my biggest supporters.
Yeah, you said that, you'll buy my house, and for me, that's a weight off my back. I mean, we have to start looking for a place,
Yeah.
and we don't have any moving money. And you mentioned you may be able to help by paying for our movers. Is that still an option?
Yeah, it's an option. I mean, we're going to take a good look at your finances when we sit back down. You have your homework, all right? You're obviously going to need a security deposit.
Okay.
Okay. You're going to need your first month's rent. You're going to need money for movers. We can look at all of this stuff. I can't give any of this money directly to you. However, if I'm getting a good vibe in terms of cooperation and that you're not going to disappear after we do this, because I don't want to get foreclosed on, there have been cases in the past where I will write a check to your new landlord for security in the first month's rent and pay for the movers.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll see how it goes. You've got your homework. We're going to set a date. I mean, how about same time next week, but in my office?
Okay.
Bring me everything I asked for. If you're missing something, come anyway. And I just need to know why. Like, I didn't file my taxes, or I couldn't find this particular document, and that's okay too.
Okay. Sounds good.
Plus, my partner that does these short sales, I think you're really going to like him. You look a lot like him, even. It's the smile and the laugh.
Yeah. I have to talk this over with my wife too. I mean, she is a big part of this, and I can't make a decision without her.
Yeah, I understand it completely. Happy wife, happy life. Believe it or not, we had one of these set to close in our office last week. I sat down, did the whole spiel with the husband. We met more than a few times. He got me everything. Then he brought the wife in, and man, it was ugly, because that was the first time she even found out that they were in foreclosure. So he had some splaining to do, like Ricky Ricardo, and they're going to come back. There's really no other option. If you want to look at some of your other options, if you want to try to list it, I will caution you, many times when realtors do short sales, they will tell you till you're blue in the face, there's no deficiency judgment, and watch the fine print, I've seen more than a few people. I even had an assistant who, for some godforsaken reason, sold her house that she owed like 900 grand for 650 on, and she did it through a realtor, and now she got this giant deficiency judgment for like $350,000 attached to her personally. We no longer work together, and they're now garnishing her wages
Wow.
with everything she makes for the rest of her life. It's like child support for a kid you don't have. And
Wow.
even if this doesn't work out, but you provide me with all the necessary documents and we submit an offer to the bank and they entertain it, I can promise you that we've got fine wording in our contract that you will not get a deficiency judgment, and even if I fail, I'll still work with you to get your credit restored. If we decide to go the bankruptcy route, it'll happen even quicker, and it puts me in an even stronger position because now not only do I own the property and have the deed, but, pardon my French, the bank's no longer got their hooks in your ass. They can't get their pound of flesh, and it's off your credit because you discharged it in bankruptcy, so I got you right
Okay.
there.
Thank you.
Jellyfish. My
So,
niece told me
sounds like we're going to move forward.
that. Yeah.
Sounds like this is going to work out for us. I look forward to meeting you next week.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time. If you have any questions, I know sometimes I can be pretty bad at responding. You have my office number. You have my other number. Somebody answers that one 24/7. And yeah, talk to your wife. Anything happens, communication is key. We're not just buying a house. We're building a relationship. And I look forward to making this one with a happy ending. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.